Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we have with us here Ahmad, one of our students he took our overnight Qari course maybe a year ago, probably like a year ago, and then he's been doing the coaching program with me for 6 or 7 months or so. 6 or 7 months. Ahmed, is that correct?
Yeah, 6, 7 months. Yeah.
6, 7 months. So he's moving on, onto other studies and other programs that he's doing. But I wanted to ask him to share some thoughts on the program and some advice for students. Generally his coming into the program, his tajweed is really good already. His recitation is good already. So some advice for students who are interested in kind of going the maqamat journey and more general like Quran recitation and otherwise. And he prefers not to have his face on the camera, so you guys get to see me instead. Okay, so Ahmed, any thoughts? Kind of, you've been in the program for a while. Sort of what progress have you made? What's the experience been? How does it feel to recite with maqamat and so on?
Yeah, so assalamu alaikum everybody. So my name is Ahmad Shuaib, and yes, I have been reciting with Ustadh for 7 months, and I have been able to get a taste from in every maqam I recited with the Ustadh. And I think the program is very good if you want to get a good introduction to how maqamat works, especially when you love reciting the Quran in your space time and etc. But for me, it was many of my teachers also said to me that you should, after you get good at your tajweed, to start at begin with maqamat. So therefore, when I finished my Qira'ah and my tajweed, I then decided to recite with Ustadh Idrees, and when he gave me a basic and a good explanation of how the maqamat works. And now, when I, for example, listen to Abdulbasit, or when I listen to Minshawi, or when I listen to Husary, it opens a new door for you, especially if you know the meaning of what he recites and the tune. It gives you a kind of a better feeling of the qira'ah, now, because when Abdulbasit recites or Hussein Minshawi, and they recite a verse, an ayah about punishment or about Jannah, then the tune, it gives you a good feeling.
Mm-hmm. And it adds to the whole experience.
Yeah. And so for that, Ustadh Idrees was very good at giving you a good introduction of how the maqamat, and he gave you he opened the door for you for how the maqamat works.
So Ahmed, what was your experience kind of before joining the program? Were you trying to a lot of people go on YouTube trying to listen to different maqamat demos. So what would you say is kind of the difference between, say, trying to for a student who wants to learn maqamat, kind of listening to different clips on YouTube versus, say, the approach that we have in our overnight Qari course or in the coaching program? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would say when you don't have a teacher and you just listen, you learn passively. But when you sit with a teacher and he learns and he teaches you and explains for you, and you then try to recite like him, you act passively. And when you act passively, it sticks longer and it sticks better.
Actively, I mean, right? Passively is
yeah. Passively is listening, but actively, when you recite with a teacher and he shows you go down or go up and do this and do that, and you do that, it sticks better. I can feel it for myself that I have progressed a lot when I began reciting with Ustadh Idrees, because you do it actively and not passively.
Cool. Yeah, that's something that sometimes I try to emphasize in some of my videos and stuff like that. You're right. You can someone can learn that way by listening and so on. But it takes longer, and it's more like you have to figure it out on your own versus having it explained to you and show you kind of seeing the patterns for yourself and learning it that way. Okay, inshallah, any other advice for students, even apart from maqamat, for people that want to develop their recitation and more generally, because you've done a lot, otherwise tajweed and qira'at and stuff as well.
my main nasiha and advice to students is that the intention should be for Allah Ta'ala. And I think I heard one of my teachers, they said that the reason because Abdulbasit and Minshawi and Husary, they illuminated the world is because they had three attributes. They had kasb, which is something that they were able to achieve, good tajweed and hifz. And then they have wahab. That means that they got something God-given, a good voice and etc. And then they have hal. When you recite it, they recited with the heart. So it wasn't just the tongue, but it was also the heart. So for students who want to learn tajweed and thereafter maqamat, you have the right intention and to illuminate other people's hearts and try to keep yourself free from sins and do it for Allah Ta'ala's sake, and then Allah Ta'ala will give you really good things in this world, inshallah.
Inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Any final thoughts? In your maqamat journey and this program otherwise?
I mean, wa yakum, Sheikh, I think it has been really good, and as it opened the door for me, and it gave me a new perspective on how you can recite Quran.
Alhamdulillah. Glad to have you in the program, and Jazakumullah khairan. You're a good student, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve you and open more doors for you, right, beyond this program, as you continue with your other qira'at and stuff as well. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and your family as well. Okay, so I stopped the previous interview I was doing with Ahmad, and then I realized that you guys are going to ask for his recitation, right? Sometimes on some of my recent videos, YouTube comments, some of you guys are like, how do your students actually recite? And so I'll ask Ahmad to recite a little bit. And here's the thing that I do want to mention though, because sometimes people, like with stuff on YouTube, like if I just post a student's recitation, I don't want to take credit for everything. Like Ahmed has come into the program. He's already done his, I don't teach him tajweed. His fluency, his hifz, his tajweed, everything. Like that's all from before. So it's the maqamat specifically he's doing with me. And sometimes students, when they ask for, okay, share a recitation, if a student, for example, doesn't really have good tajweed and they come in and join one of my courses, maybe they learn a pattern for maqam Nahawand, but their tajweed is still going to be the same, right? So if I show an example of that student, then maybe you'll hear and say, oh, the student has bad tajweed, but I wasn't teaching them tajweed to begin with, right? So I think that's important to clarify, because students sometimes ask me for videos or recitations from students, and I often think, wait a second, it's not really like, it could be misleading that way, right? Like if I give you Ahmed's recitation, he was reciting well before in terms of tajweed and fluency and so on. But anyways, maqamat wise, Ahmed, why don't you give us a demo? Maybe if you want, read a few ayat in one maqam and then switch to a different maqam, or if you want the same ayat in like multiple maqamat, you go for it. Just say what you're doing. For example, be like, okay, Nahawand, and then recite Nahawand, Hijaz, and so on.
Yeah, okay, inshallah, I will recite from the end of Juz 1, from وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ, and I will start with Maqam Kurd.
Okay.
Yes. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذ ابتلى إبراهيم ربه بكلمات فأتمهن قال إني جاعلك للناس إماما قال ومن ذريتي قال لا ينال عهد الظالمين وإذ جعلنا البيت مثابة للناس وأمنا واتخذوا من مقام إبراهيم مصلى وعهدنا إلى إبراهيم وإسماعيل أن طهر بيتي للطائفين الطائفين والعاكفين والركع السجود. Then I want to do Nahawand.
Okay.
وإذ قال إبراهيم رب اجعل هذا بلدا آمنا وارزق أهله من الثمرات من آمن منهم بالله واليوم الآخر قال ومن كفر فأمتعه قليلا ثم أضطره إلى عذاب النار وبئس المصير. وإذ يرفع إبراهيم القواعد من البيت وإسماعيل ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. And then I can do the last one in Hijaz.
Okay.
ربنا وجعلنا مسلمين لك ومن ذريتنا أمة مسلمة لك وأرنا مناسكنا وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا وابعث فيهم رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياتك ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة ويزكيهم إنك أنت العزيز الحكيم. صدق الله العظيم.
Barakallahu feekum. I appreciate it. Ahmed, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and elevate you with every word that you recite. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Keep practicing. Keep some of the other maqamat for anyone else who's listening. Some of the other maqamat, Ahmed is still kind of working on them. And he'll continue to work on them amongst other things. He's working on other qira'at, riwayat that he's reading with a different sheikh as well. So keep him in your du'as, keep me in your du'as, and barakallahu feekum. Ahmed, I appreciate it.
Ameen wa feekum, Ustad. Ameen wa feekum. And remember me in your du'as, inshallah.
Will do. Okay, take care, man. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.